Hello there and welcome to my channel. This is Kate in the Nest, and it's been way too long since I shared my journaling with you. I love playing with paper, as I know many of you do, and I thought I'd just talk about the similarities that I find between collage with paper and collage with fabric. I've been doing a lot of textile collaging, and I realized that that's something that I just love because it always brings texture and interest and the idea of using all our little scrappy bits. I'm very happy to call them scraps when I work with paper. So everything is kept. This is off an old page that I'd just done a line. So Kate seems to use machine stitching on paper and stay in these very vintagey colors, and whereas my slow stitching at the moment is very colorful. So welcome. This is playing with paper, and we are going to call it paper collage art, because I do believe these are pages that I've made previously, and I make these and then recycle them. I'll put them in a journal and then decide they don't fit, but always that same premise of fabric. In fact, this is a good example of my style. Fabric with stamping, musical manuscript, my own tea-dyed paper with text. This is a Tim Holtz one. Machine stitched paper with more fabric. The use of words. So I'm about to release a little range of diaries again on my journals again on my website. I changed my website, so that's why the journals disappeared for about a year or so. But also vintage papers, and the way they get put together is just a story in itself. So they're the colours. Here's the itty bitty scraps that I have here. Some bits of vintage edgings, little motif off a larger tablecloth, some eco dyed paper that I mounted. Oh, there's a pencil and all these bits. Plus, I always start out with my basics, which is papers in neutral natural colours of varying weights. So these are cardstock. This is craft paper. I don't know the names, sorry, but that is my inspiration. Then I will have pieces of paper that I have tea dyed, and my paper comes out different colours. Where's the big bits that I have here? According to how I treat it, I like to get a lot of different effects in my tea dyeing. So this is paper that I've soaked on one side and not paid much attention to the other, because then that gives opportunity for light and dark variations. If it was an A5 journal, there we go, we could have it this way, etc. So there we are. That's the palette. I don't tend to use digitals now. I certainly did when I started, but not now. And I think that's just, we go through stages. I'm going to start with this one. And over here, I've taken them out of the nest, but I have various sizes of other plain paper and text. So big paper. I've got some white gesso here. I don't use it very much, but I thought, why not today? Scissors, some masking tape, my glue stick, and a ruler are basically, at this stage, what I have. None of that expensive, and that's why I'm such a fan of junk journaling. So When using text, I watched a lot of people in the start, and you know, I'm hoping if you're new or haven't done it, maybe I can now be the person that gives you a little bit of inspiration to get into this fantastic form of expression. So this is thin paper because I don't know whether these will end up being pages or ephemera. That was the word that took me a long time to learn. And now I just summarize it. I make pages and I make bits that go on the pages. And that's really all I need to know. So I'm hoping that you are well. If you're someone that joined me right in the early days for my journaling, welcome back. It's been a while. I haven't stopped, but I just haven't filmed it like I used to. All right, so that's that one. This is a beautiful Italian. So all of these go into my snippets nest. Oops. Like this. That then tomorrow when I come down, I will sew together as the beginning. Oh my gosh, this chair is creaky. And you don't have to tear this so neatly, but in this collaging part, it's good not to have a lot of the white, just like we do with our flowers when I'm collaging fabric. Oops. Juxtaposition. Upside down and the right way. I can tell you, it's so relaxing. Nothing like a feeling of accomplishment when you tear. Tear in a good way. So we've got those down, and it's just basically what we love doing when we're young, filling in the gaps. It's like a puzzle. But I haven't got any of this print over here, so let's do that like that. I've got some bits on manuscript. There's no rules about sizes. You might like to use. Oh, it's good if I get the glue stick actually down. You might like to approach this in squares. Actually, let's go that way, a bit more interest. And if it's got a crease in it, even more, so the better. And then I've got something that I stitched before. It's just going to find a new home. Actually, follow my instinct. And put that over there. This is what starts to happen. Everything starts sticking. I have to say happy birthday to Terry. I'm not sure whether she'll watch this or not. And hello to the lovely Amelia, to Teresa, Julie, Maureen, some of my absolute right from the beginning subbies. Oh. Now, if you're not a journal maker and you just like the effect of collage, a lot of people just make these and put them in sketchbooks or frame them, and they become like an artwork. I could do that in a minute, except I want to fill in this space. It says something about New Yorker. And I've got a little bit here. Let's get a different size text if we can. So again, if you are starting out, your local, I don't know what they call them in other countries, but there'll be often piles of books that don't even make it to the sale bin because they've got rips in them or pages missing. So that's where a lot of my bits come from, and it's the opposite shopping joy, just the same as we get when we are looking for textiles. So there we are. That is just a first pass at a piece that if I had darker card underneath it, and it's not going to work because it's not to size, but as I said, if you want to start with somewhere, this could be something on your wall. I would personally stitch around it now and then put it together. So with that in mind, let's see it as a page. Sorry, I jumped. I meant let's see it as a page, not as an artwork to start with. That's something that can go in an A4. I've got some other pages that I'm working on there. Don't like that there now. I'll recycle that. But contrasting. Practicalness shows that that has to go over there. It's again what I love about paper, so forgiving. So let's just make a mini signature. Paper cutter. Again, look out for things on sale. This is an old, this is with my children's spelling cards. I'm going to put that there. And that's the intro to a signature. Oh, except let's the wrong way. So like that, into there, something will go over the top, and then that gives us this whole piece. So let's use that now as the inspiration for something that we chop up. And I'll use slightly bigger card, thicker card, because these might be pockets or and I'm always aware that we're at different parts of our journeys, whether we're stitching or journaling. So I just always hope that there's something sort of inspiring, or just something that you go, oh no, that's not my style. But I know not everyone has access to a printer for digitals. And so sometimes it's just good to know that, see, I like that myself, just as a fold and go piece. So that over there in the signature, you've got layers, interest, paper, thickness. So that's going there. I've done that. Okay, what haven't we got? We haven't got text. And the more you do it, am I using a little to the side? The more you do it, you just get more relaxed and random. And I know for many that little voice of perfectionism and saying that's not straight sometimes takes over. But again, I'm just going to say, have a play. This is paper that a friend brought me back from India, I think. I was saying to someone that when you make journals, you look at paper, everything that comes in the mail, differently. I like the numbers, like that 46. I'll put that over the side there. Actually better check the battery. I'm always in danger, like my journaling time goes so much faster. I think because I don't have to stop and thread a needle. Honestly, getting pieces from everywhere. A new world is born. I love text like that. So let's keep that heading on. See if I can keep the number nearly. are. Okay, now we're going to play the favourite magic game. You've probably seen me do this before, but you never tire, well, I never tire of it, so I'm going to share it with you. You just think of the width of maybe a pocket, depends what size journal you're making, and tags. Oh. Sometimes it's tougher than others. And this is really what makes it random art. And there were the first pieces. Now we'll have a look. There's a natural line, a little bit of card there. I can see that that's got too much white, but we've got our 46 at the top, and then there's a piece here that will do a similar thing. So out of that one piece of A4, let's get rid of this orange thing. We've got border 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus some things to make fabric strips out of. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera off and I will be back. Hello again, I'm back. I just zipped away to my sewing machine to show you what I like about this next step. I don't like all of those bits of tangles, but just the framing around the edges and a few little tags can just, I feel, elevate these pieces up from the scrap original collage and give you more inspiration to keep embellishing on. But in the same way, they are already ready to go as a tag, or as I said, a pocket on an A5. So all of those little gems. Now many would now put a picture, a motif, label. I tend to not have those, so I tend to start embellishing upon embellishing with words and sometimes birds. So see, that says seasonal. That's from a gardening book that does not go with this at all, but that is a story in itself, and I would probably now stamp that in there. Now I'm not going to do it to all of them, but see, we've got a space here and I've got this little snippet that is not as much music as I would like, but just to give you the idea that we're making our own labels and layering. Oh, that moved. And have I got anything else big enough to, what would I like? Oh, I could. Yeah, in fact, I won't. I will tea dye that, and that would go. Some butterflies I'll have, or some birds. I'm just after some text, really, but it's not. Or something like this beautiful heading. Oh, and I get 2 versions out of that. Is that right for here? I think it is. Let's go this way. So suddenly the text, the eye can't miss the text. And even if we don't know what it means, it's more interesting. You've probably got the hang of that. So I did want to do something else. Can I remember? Oh yeah, this is the page that we did earlier. And I similarly have wonky stitched around it, picked up a scrap as I was going, but we'll say that was meant to be. We've got our little bits on the back and all this clean space in here. So at this point, I would be probably going through my pile of interesting papers. Actually, I'd rather it along here like this. And we'll use the stitching to frame it. Then I need to run it into some text. Oh, I didn't mean to do that shape, but anyway. All the papers are different weights. I like a staple. I'll squash that down so it's not dangerous. This line I don't really like, but depending what I choose to do with the page, like for example, if that becomes a pocket, which I think it will, and see that little bit of original stencil, it just gives that page life. I'm going to make it just down this side. I feel a little bit more organized than I used to. Who knows how long it will last, but I at least found my double-sided tape. Oh, that's true to form, it's gone crooked. Oh, now it's sticking to everything. And now I need something to make sure that's stuck down. And then, I don't like that actually. Let's come back to our pieces. What we made before. Maybe that could pop there. A little bit of a butterfly. as a surprise. And there we are. We're on our way to a page inside. Now, anyway, I won't go on further, but if you enjoyed that, please let me know. I'm keen to, if you want me to film my journal making, I will do it more often. And as I said, I've got a series of journals that I'll be releasing very soon, like even in, I won't say the day, but a few days. So you can sign up to my newsletter if you want to see them first as well. Okay, so there we are. It's Katie in a nest, playing with paper, back to the happy place. You too can do it. And if you haven't had a go, I encourage you. There's so many of us out here on YouTube that you'll find someone whose style matches what you love doing. So thank you once again. Stay well, take care, and I will see you next time. Bye.